What's up, suckers? Hey, we are gonna do something completely different. I ended up making a whole video last night. It worked out really well. Went to go review it to post it. There was background noise, and you could hardly hear me because the background noise was so loud. So, skip. So basically, I'm gonna do the entire video again, but I'm gonna do it outside of my work. Okay, so I went to the www.internet.com and I looked up succulents that you can purchase. Now, I'm not going to release the company's name because ultimately it's not really a company, it's a place. So basically what I did was I selected the quantity of succulents that I wanted and whether it was trimmings or cuttings or propagations at this point. Now, one of the things that I noticed wrong, first off, is that my package was completely crushed. Now, oftentimes when you order online, it's not the company that crushes the succulents, it's ultimately the carrier. So when you pay for shipping, you're not really paying them to take care of your package. So despite having fragile written all over it and stickers on the top, on the sides, on the bottom, my package was crushed. It was very sad. But the majority of my succulents survived. We are okay. So, number one thing when you receive your succulents you want to pay attention to is basically you want to double check your quantity and you want to check the quality. Now, when you get trimmings, they're not going to have roots because they cut it off of the succulent and then they put it in basically the package and sent it. Now, because my box was destroyed, this is what it came in. Just a very sad paper package, and that was my package to deal with. So, step number one, when you usually receive them, it looks like this. Now, there's no roots, there's no nothing, and then the leaves will shrivel. So, do not panic when you receive stuff like this. If the leaves are shriveled, it's just because right now there's no water. And you don't want to water these guys when you first receive them because there's no way for it to absorb water. There's no roots. So if you water it, you could create mold, and that's not a good thing. So then second step is these pink little guys. These are aeration roots. And so basically this is the plant saying, hey, I'm missing something. So the first thing they shoot out is usually aeration roots. They're looking for oxygen. Now, I did end up ordering these succulents 2 months ago, and I gave them a lot of time to ultimately catch up. I think the only reason this particular one the first one doesn't have roots is just because it's a little bit bigger than the other ones I have. So yeah, first thing you're going to notice oftentimes is aeration roots. These second roots that you will notice are these really pretty white ones. Give my camera a second to adjust. So basically they come in, yeah, it really wants to focus on the door. Yeah, there we go. Hey, so they come in white. So these are what healthy roots look like. They're white. And this particular succulent has a few pink ones, but the majority of them are white. And then the only issue I'm going to have with planting this guy is it's currently kind of growing upside down. And I have a couple succulents that are doing that right now. So, ultimately, what I'm going to have to do is take off these first two leaves here and then try to plant it and allow the rest of this to face the sun. Now, the cool thing about succulents is that they do photosynthesize like normal plants. Some of them, not all of them though, can follow the sun like sunflowers. So they'll try to seek that sun. Now, they don't move throughout the day, but as time passes, if they notice that the sun is one direction, they'll face that one direction. So ultimately with this guy, I'll just flip him around the opposite direction of his growth and he'll eventually straighten out, face the sun. I have a couple different ones. This one's a normal echeveria. It's got a couple aeration roots. I'm quite pleased with a lot of these that came in. I've got a pink princess. So this one's coming in pink. You can definitely see it on the bottom here. Very, very tiny aeration roots. It's okay though, I'm giving it time. However, when you do order stuff and they're in a crushed package, you will get sad stuff like this. They weren't really in individual boxes. They weren't really in individual like care houses. So if this one survives, I will be shocked. But right now, this is its state. When I first unboxed everything, I pulled everything out, I spread it all out, and ultimately this guy was crushed in the corner. So I'm kind of shocked that he even has roots to begin with. I'm not giving up hope because the center leaves are still perfect. So if I need to, I'll just pull away all these really bent, really damaged leaves, and then just allow it to basically become a baby again. We'll start over. No problem. And then other times when you get stuff like this, you'll find those normal leaves that have popped off, and there's still new growth. There's a baby succulent attached to this leaf, so super happy with that. Still get my normal succulents. This one's pretty much like all the way there. Super cool. So yeah, you definitely can order succulents online. I ordered a lot. I think I ordered like 10, and most of them came in one piece. You will see though that with different companies, they do care a little bit differently. So despite my package being covered in stickers that say fragile, it's ultimately the carrier company. When you pay for shipping, they're not really like shipping and handling. They're just tossing it onto the truck going, well, if it's not heavy, it's obviously not breakable. So that is something that you'll have to ultimately look out for. The other company that my brother is currently ordering from, so I'm getting the ultimate like instruction from him, is that they come in paper cups, and it's a full succulent, and roots have already formed, and then they basically put on another little piece of cardboard on top of that, and then they put it in a tall box, so that way the succulent still has space, and then they put a bunch of stuffing around it. That is also a good company. He lives much closer to a carrier facility that will ship it to him than I do, so they'll most likely either be like the stereotypical person where they come out of the box, they fall out, and people are like, I'm not happy with my purchase. It's like, well, it's not ultimately the company's responsibility. Once it is received by a shipping truck, it's kind of on them. So if they come destroyed, I do apologize. But just know that you absolutely can order succulents from the internet. Just be very wary that if they come to you, unpackage them directly and make sure they're all okay. Because 9 out of 10 isn't bad. And having a completely destroyed box that I couldn't even show you at this point is ultimately what is the saddest. But I think the paper really goes to show that it was not cared for. But I'm quite happy with them. I'm going to give them 2 more weeks, ultimately, before I put them in pots. I'm hoping that that biggest one will sprout roots. But other than that, that was my 8-minute video on how to care for succulents that come in ripped boxes. Yeah, so just a quick overview. Number 1, don't spray them until they have roots. Number 2, if they're broken, try to find some new growth or pull off the leaves and see if those will propagate. Number 3, aeration roots are pink. Healthy roots are typically white or natural colored. Don't think of like whitest white, but think of more like bone white. You want it more of an earthy color. And then when in doubt, YouTube it out, because here I am. Hey, no, so just understand that, with care facilities, not everybody actually cares. So that's why I'm here, to kind of help you out there. So yeah, when I'm ready to pot these, then I will officially make a video and say potting time, and sounds really close to potting time. And I'll ultimately do a follow-up of like how I pot these guys. What size pot do you want to go for? How deep do you want your soil to go? Because for some of them, my roots are very small. For others, especially the bigger succulents that I have, they shoot straight down. You have to make sure that they spread out before you plant them. So I'll be sure to do that. Today's a little bit different, like I said. I filmed this whole video already. It was 10 minutes long. I was ready to upload it. I listened to the whole thing, and it was just background noise from another video going on in the background that wasn't me. So here I am, just kind of making up for it. I'm not going to edit this in any way. I'm just going to upload it to YouTube and call it done. You really don't need like the flashes on the side and the super cool like Ooh, like and subscribe, because, you know, there's 24 of us watching this and sometimes only get 10 viewers a day. So, hey, I'm super happy. I'm happy to help. And this has been unboxing video. All right. Peace out, suckers.